Now, the latest 2025 budget guide from National Treasury warns that fiscal risk has remained the same since the 2024 budget. This means government ministries will continue tightening purse strings and stretching what they have. Business reporter for Newzroom Afrika, Ntokozo Khumalo, has more.
The National Treasury forecasts that by next year's budget, the South African economy would have made a turnaround after 5 years of fiscal consolidation to lift economic growth. However, Treasury's guidelines for the medium-term expenditure framework for the next 3 years warns that money is drying up while government commitments are growing. According to one economist, this requires ministers to take a new approach to budgeting for their departments.
Each department has a spending review where they will look at the programs, they will look at which programs are performing, which ones are not, where can you reprioritize, which programs can be cut. There's a big focus on efficiency, right? Because we know there's a lot of incompetence and leakages in spending, and the money doesn't go where it's supposed to go.
The National Black Business Caucus argues that this takes a top-bottom approach led by ministers who not only understand how business works in South Africa, but also what drives their growth.
It's an ecosystem. They're not individual ministries that matter to specific people and others don't matter. The whole government is an ecosystem.
He highlights that for too long, various government departments focused on creating a state welfare instead of finding ways to help more people become independent of the government.
Why don't you switch this to and give money to business to develop so that they can employ people? If you look at this saloon here, it's been like this probably for 10 years and will be like this for another 10 years because it cannot get any funding.
An easy win for incoming ministers responsible for transforming and industrializing the economy, according to Rekwane, is to turn townships across the country into special economic zones. He says this can be done by offering large corporations incentives for operating in the townships and partnering with small businesses.
Then you create economic activity. This ceases to become a ghetto because now there's money flowing around in township. It's simple. Are you saying that the things I'm saying, there's nobody in the 400 seats in parliament who can think about this? It's not rocket science. I'm not coming up with something new.
One business owner from Tembisa with a factory nearby says he's run his business for the past decade without government assistance, but that a functional government would go a long way in helping him focus on the business of running a business. 42-year-old Jabu Malungane employs 18 people in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal in his archer business. He agrees that the incoming cabinet must go back to the drawing board and use what the country already has to grow the economy.
There's a lot of factories here. Besides money, there's a lot of factories that are abandoned that belongs to the government. So government can just fix those factories, give it to small businesses, say this is where you can work.
He has a factory that he is growing through product diversification and reflects on where he started, repairing cell phones and hawking in the streets of Pretoria, money that he plowed back into Jabu's Acha. While he has received no government support yet, he has managed to penetrate retailers such as Pick n Pay and Spar, as well as access markets outside of the country, including Lesotho, Eswatini and Namibia. He believes small businesses like his need government agencies with a clear long-term strategy for the sector.
You need a factory, so that factory needs money, and you need machinery. Those machineries needs money. So I think if the government can interfere there, we can even be able to employ many people.
President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to announce his new cabinet made up of different political parties this week. That's after 10 political parties, including the DA, IFP and PAC, joined the government of national unity. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Johannesburg.